The Tang Dynasty character for nose, B, holds some clues. In the ancient oracle bone script, the character for nose was actually a pictogram of a human nose, which then developed into the character for self, Z. By the Qin Dynasty 2,000 years ago, the character for nose has self within it. So,
The Nose Knows. Cute title. And I really like this idea. I think it's very unique, creative, different. We talk a lot about the eyes and I think other parts of the body, but do we really talk about the nose very much and what it actually means in certain cultures? So I think it's really cool to get a perspective, especially on the Eastern philosophy of the nose. Wider means richer, which is very interesting. Not really sure about mine, but yeah. Anyway, it's kind of funny. It makes you look at your nose a little differently. Chinese people really care about their noses or about noses in general. And it's funny that they refer to the Western noses as big nose or high nose. It's kind of funny. And the biggest difference between Western people and Chinese people is the nose. I would think it would be the eyes, but I guess the nose is a lot different as well, and I'll probably be looking at noses for a while. Yeah, so, and that there's also the term nose person, I guess, too. And I just thought this was very informative, and I liked how it was done, all the interviews. And, you know, they mentioned that in emerging Chinese global order, noses have cosmetic and cosmological power. Change the face, can you change your fate? You know, all these different things about noses. In your face, I just thought it was fascinating to hear the cultural side of what the Chinese believe about some elements of the face and especially the nose. So I thought it was well done, and I enjoyed the meeting between the woman and the man talking about his face, his hair, covering his forehead, things like that. Didn't know any of those ideas or ideologies existed. So great job and good luck.
This was fantastic, informative, a bit absurd. Just learned so much about the history here, the whole propaganda of the nose, using prosthetic nose in films. All this was just great information, really presented really well here. It was fun, informative. It's just great to hear from people from then and now. You know, explain how it was used, and I just found it so fascinating. The whole caricature of the nose and how it was sort of the way it was used and the way it was sort of sought after in a way too. They would kind of anyway. There was just so much good information here. It was all just really charming and delightful and put together really well. Just an excellent doc. I enjoyed it.
The nose knows. This was interesting. Like, I learned a lot about noses and a lot about how China views them and kind of their culture and what their history is with, like, how your fate is tied to your nose. I loved what they did with the interviews. I thought that was really interesting. It was educational. One of my favorite parts, the cinematography was really beautiful, but I loved when they laid the parchment out and they did the lettering on it and then told you what the lettering meant. I thought that was really beautifully done. So yeah, cool.
If a film makes me wonder, how did this concept come to be? What was going on in the writer's room or whatever was behind the development of this story? That's when you know that I'm gonna enjoy this film. And the nose knows. is a really fascinating deep dive into something seemingly small, our noses, but through that explores something much bigger, how China sees itself and how China sees the Western world. So I was hooked. Um, yeah, I love the documentaries that take a niche subject and use it as a lens for both the cultural and societal discussions. And this film, this documentary does exactly that. The storytelling is clear, insightful, and approachable, making complex ideas feel effortless to engage with. Visually, the film keeps things quite simple, but at the same time dynamic, never overwhelming, but always engaging. There's something almost meditative about it, that is relaxing and at the same time thought provoking. The way it connects facial features to identity, perception, and even history is incredibly well crafted. A unique and thoughtful piece that proves something, sometimes mm, the smallest details reveal the biggest stories.
I really like the nose. I thought it was interesting. It got me looking at my nose. I feel like I don't know how it's gonna go with black people. Uh, but anyway, yeah, I thought it was really cool. I would say the strength of a documentary is the subject matter, and this, when I say fascinating, genuinely like something I never thought about before, never heard of, but like you piqued my curiosity and captured my interest. This film did that. Uh, as far as like the socio-political, economic impact of noses and like and culture and like how that cross section interacts and like all that was genuinely fascinating. Uh, like how like it affects like how different cultures perceive different like beauty standards and like all of that like great insightful stuff, that makes you think and like uh contemplate and whatnot. So uh really, really unique, really well done, really interesting. Uh, Great job.